What is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we're going to be diving into the markets, and we're going to be diving into what is exactly happening. I mean, the script has completely changed since whenever I did my last show here last week on Friday, and I mean, we hadn't seen the USDC depeg yet. We hadn't seen the effects of the real power of decentralization and why money is flowing into assets like Bitcoin in these moments in time. I mean, things have completely flipped on their head. I'm excited to go dive into the markets, dive into what's happening, and then also look at a few people's opinions on what they think this little, I would say, this is definitely a pump right now. We're dumping at this very moment in time on the hourly. We'll go over a lot of people's opinions on how this plays out. And I'm going to go over some tokens that if we do see that continuation up to, the 28,000, the 30,000 levels, where I'm going to be looking to park my money and where the explosive gains are going to come out of. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Like the video if you enjoy the show here every single day on Crypto Banter, as well as subscribe for shows here on the channel regarding trading, fundamentals, DeFi, crypto gaming, and more. And shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. SIDUS HEROES, one of the leading AAA intergalactic experiences across all of Web3 gaming. You can check out their Zenna mobile app now. Bybit, one of the leading exchanges in all of crypto where you can do all of your trading. Link down below to sign up for a Bybit account, as well as NordVPN. Always navigate securely in crypto. Never disclose your IP. Never disclose your location. Always play it safe and use a VPN. NordVPN down below. You can take a look at all of our top tier sponsors in the description below. Now let's dive into it. So as we're seeing, pullback time, short 20K in the next 2 hours. We're seeing some pretty interesting opinions across the board in the entire space. And I think with what we're seeing in the economics right now, U.S. inflation cooled in February as the Fed continues to confront all of the bank failures. The CPI price raises 6% from the year earlier, which is the smallest annual gain since September 2021. And I did not say we're going to 28-30K. I did not say that. There are other people that said that. We're going to go over their opinions, and then I'm going to give my opinion. Wall Street rallies on rebound in banks, small rate hike bets. So the Fed CPI was in line with expectations. The regional banks rebounded pretty hard today, and the indexes are up. But right now, as we're seeing, the stocks right now on the 4 hour are oversold. So we'll see probably a pullback here off of this momentum. But the money has been flowing into Bitcoin and into cryptocurrency because this is the only way to self-custody your money and actually make sure that it's yours, for Christ's sake. All these bank crisis and people losing their money. And yes, the depositors are going to get bailed out, but not the banks getting bailed out, right? So when we're looking at what's the best way to securely park your money and actually custody your money is yours, right? Well, that's cryptocurrency. That's Bitcoin, for example. So let's go over a couple of circumstances that people see playing out in the markets. So Alex Becker says 28K, everyone shorts, which was pretty close. We got to 26K and now people are shorting. So decently close. Big short squeeze past 30K. So he thinks we potentially go past 30K. Extreme euphoria hits. That's when everyone, the retail investors, start aping in and they think that this is the bull run and this run's going to keep continuing. And then something bad happens, as he says, and true dump. This is what he thinks likely going to happen. I saw Rand and Alex kind of saying, Rand said, I thought you said the run was over. Yeah, actually, it's right below this. So Rand says, you declared this rally dead many times, with respect, of course. I was wrong about 25K. If you told me USDC and a bank would collapse, I would predict crypto goes down, not rage up. If we cleanly bust 32K, I'll concede. We will see yet again. So Rand and Alex going back and forth there, which I thought was pretty funny. Elio speaking the truth here when he says, people call crypto a Ponzi, when in reality, the entire financial system's a Ponzi. So people need to stop saying that. This clearly showed that the financial system is a complete Ponzi. And this week showed that the main utility of removing counterparty risk is Bitcoin. And it is cryptocurrency. So what is the biggest sector that's going to have the explosive gains? We literally saw it on the watch list this week. The biggest gains are coming out of the crypto gaming sector. And I'll show you in just a second the ones that have ran. But I think the ones that are still going to have the most explosive gains, if we do see a kickback up, back above 25, 26. If we break those levels like Alex sees, the 28K or the 30K levels, crypto gaming tokens have a long way to go in between that time. So as we're seeing the demand for skins in games, the utility for NFTs in video games is going to be absolutely, it's inevitable. When you're seeing CSGO skins selling for $160,000, it's 160 grand for a Web 2 skin. Now, this is showing the power of assets in video games, NFT utility, ownership in video games, the ability to sell what you earn inside of these ecosystems. And we're seeing the biggest creators coming in. This Friday, we finally get a taste of more of the full experience of what Midnight Society and Dead Drop, as Dr. Disrespect, his gaming studio, is coming out this week with a new snapshot, a year in development on the biggest AAA game of the decade, launching this Friday with Snapshot 5. So there's clear demand for these skins inside of games in the real world gaming, on that side of things. We're seeing companies like Amazon, Unity, the biggest gaming companies in the world are flooding the gates to come into Web3 gaming. So let's look at the watch list really quick. Over this time period, over the week, we've seen crypto gaming projects. I mean, Aptos, after their Unity partnership, they're up 23%. Cypher's up 20%. Wozder's up 20%. Magic is up 17%. Gala's up 13%. So a lot of the biggest gainers over the week during these time periods, even during this pullback, are crypto gaming tokens. And what are some ones that I am still looking at to have even more explosive gains if we do go back above those 25, and then we maybe hit what people are really 28's like the consensus number. 28's like the consensus number. I definitely think we're going to see a healthy pullback during this pullback. Maybe it was the short squeeze that Becker's foreseeing. I wouldn't say that 30K, 28K is out of the question. That is awfully bullish, but we're seeing a big movement here and a consolidation of assets into cryptocurrency. And I don't know that that's done yet, given the risk that we clearly see in the financial system. So short term, I don't think anything's out of the question. So some tokens that I am looking at during this time period, and we said around $15. Oh, 20K is not out of the question either. No, I agree. 20K is definitely not out of the question. We definitely see like much lower. There's no doubt about that. But I think that if we went right back down to 20K, that would really just make absolutely no sense. And I don't think it's going to happen like that. I don't think it's going to happen just in the snap of a finger like that. I think we would take a little bit of a slow grind down to 20K after that rally. But some projects I'm looking at right around $15. We were screaming to the gates that, Avalanche with their partnerships with Tencent Cloud, Loco Legends, one of the biggest esports orgs in the world, in TSM. We mentioned how they're going to get a ton of movement and a ton of liquidity after those partnerships actually hit some bullish momentum. And we saw it here. I mean, this was, I think they're up, 4% over the last 24 hours, but I think they're up about 13% over the week so far. And Avalanche is going to continue to take a lot of liquidity, in my opinion, with their gaming subnets, with Shrapnel, with Ascenders. Everything that's coming to the platform is top tier. And Avalanche, I think, is going to continue to take money if the market trends upward. Polygon, we've seen a nice increase in Polygon. It went below $1. So, over the week, really good gains on Polygon. Yeah, it's a lot of liquidity coming into the projects. I completely agree. There's a lot of liquidity coming into the market. And that's because of the risk that they're seeing from the traditional financial system. Polygon's another one that it has a lot of momentum downwards and upwards these days. Very volatile, but I think the upside potential far outweighs the risk with something like Polygon, with all their business development, Meta, Starbucks, Stripe. You could go on and on with the businesses they're working with. That's overblown at this point, but the games are just starting to come to the platform. More businesses are integrating their core services with the blockchain. Their PolyZK EVM technology comes out at the end of this month. I think we're going to see a lot of trending for Polygon pretty soon. Not that they already aren't trending given all their partnerships, but I do definitely foresee some more sentiment coming into Polygon, especially when the Polygon ZK narrative comes. And if it's a success, I could see Polygon really taking another step up. And another one that I've been talking about for quite a bit of time, and we mentioned at the low $1 ranges that it would probably be a pretty good, if you're looking at long-term accumulation levels, Magic is not going away. Treasure DAO with the 26 games already integrated in the ecosystem. And every game that I speak to and every game that I see that's wanting to build on Arbitrum, they want to get in with 𝗕𝗫𝗄. They want to talk to Magic. They want to see how they can get involved with Magic and inside of the ecosystem for 𝗕𝗫𝗄, because they're running the Arbitrum gaming narrative. They have their own marketplace. They have in-house games, and games are able to come build on 𝗕𝗫𝗄. And when the Arbitrum airdrop comes, this is going to be the biggest winner in the entire ecosystem. And I have absolutely no doubt about that. So far, Avalanche, Polygon, Magic. Obviously, Gala's ran a little bit this week. Gala's up 13% this week. But if we continue our upward trend here, I could see 5 cents out of Gala if we do continue to see some bullish momentum in the market towards 28 to 30K. I read the comment and said my prediction at the same time. So win 25K. We're battling at the moment around that number. So we'll see what happens here, whether we continue to dump in this moment in time or we kind of rebound and reclaim 25K. It'll be interesting to watch. But I think that Gala, if we do push back up to 28, if we do see that play out like a lot of people are thinking, I think we could see 5 cents out of Gala for sure. And everything that's coming out of their platform, they just partnered with Google variant services or something like that today. So a partnership with Google coming out of their Discord today. So a lot of things going right for Gala as the company. Their tokenomics always concern me, but I think that we could see some really good momentum upwards given their amounts of announcements. Yeah, exactly. Gala with Google. So yeah, the amount of announcements that are coming out of Gala, the money and the liquidity is going to go into those top quality projects. I would also put Immutable up there as one that will run pretty hard if we do continue to see this bullish momentum in the market. And then two low caps. I'm very much keeping my eye on. And I got a DCA a little bit ago on Altura. After the Unity announcement, it made so much sense. The smart NFTs on the Unity SDK for web developers to be able to, or game developers to be able to put NFT smart contract technology inside of the games and actually not have to be a coder, not have to smart contract, not have to know anything. They're able to go in there, their assets level up on chain, boom. All they have to worry about is building a good game. So I think that Altura is going to be a no-brainer. And especially at this market cap, if we see this momentum continue in this market, Altura is going to continue to rip as that money trickles down into mid and small cap tokens. And I honestly think it's low risk given what we're seeing now. The integration with Unity cements Altura as one of those projects that's going to get a lot of use and a lot of work on the Unity asset store. And I think that that's a no-brainer. And then I see people talking about Veracity. So Veracity was my last one. It is a, right now, Veracity it's got some good liquidity this week, but the real narrative is every time the market moves, Veracity is like a leveraged play on the market. This thing is so volatile. When we dump, it really comes down hard. But when the market's bullish and when the liquidity is coming into the market, Veracity moves very aggressively. I would definitely have this in your scopes, on your watch list. If you see this bullish momentum continuing, I think Veracity is going to continue 100%. And those are the tokens I'm most looking at to have the most explosive gains right now. So Avalanche, Polygon, Magic, Gala, Altura, Veracity, and Immutable X. Now, I'll talk about the chat box for a couple of seconds. Update on WOSDR, up 20% this week. They're doing some really big things behind the scenes, and I'm excited about what WOSDR has coming to the table. Veracity, thumbs up and strong, absolutely. Especially with Doc making his new game with NFTs. Yeah, that's going to bring millions and millions of eyes to the space. I think I talk about it all the time because it's huge. People underestimate how many games and how many gamers he can bring into this freaking space and how many eyes on the streams and how many of his friends, the swags, the Z-laners, all the pro COD players that he knows in esports, they're all going to come play Dead Drop. They all have variants. They tweeted about it months ago. So I think that that's a no-brainer as well. Illuvium? Yeah, long-term Illuvium is going to probably crush it. Not in love with the tokenomics, but I love the project. I love the team. And in a bull market, Illuvium is going to crush it for sure. What are my thoughts on GameStop Marketplace? I think it's more or less just kind of a name slapped on there, to be honest. I think Immutable Marketplace probably, I think the GameStop Marketplace, they just kind of entered the space, threw it on there. Immutable powers the GameStop Marketplace. I'm more bullish on Immutable than like the GameStop Marketplace, for example. Arbitrum gets TVL. Very bullish on the future of Arbitrum gaming specifically. PYR, yeah, PYR is one I didn't mention, but PYR I'm very bullish on. It's around 350 at the moment. It had a nice rebound. It got down below $3 or down around $3 but a nice rebound from PYR. I'm very bullish on everything that Jamie Thompson's building under the hood there. WAGMI Games, one of my favorite small caps. Clever KLV on KuCoin. I haven't heard of it. We'll take a look at it, and I'll try to get back to you on that. I'll do some due diligence. Zilliqa, good project. I hear a lot about Zilliqa, but they just don't seem to make the moves that their announcements and their hype kind of would indicate that they do. So I'm not invested or involved at the moment, but I believe a couple other people on the channel, you know, I think they chart it and stuff like that, and you know, they like it, but it's not my favorite. Avalanche has Avalanche subnets, which companies, some of the biggest esports streaming platforms in India, TSM, one of the biggest esports teams in the world, Shrapnel, and multiple big brands and games and ecosystems are building their own layer 1 blockchain on Avalanche's technology. I think the future of Avalanche gaming is absolutely huge. Respect the fam, like. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Like the video if you enjoyed this show. If you're bullish on crypto gaming and the future, be sure to like the video. Subscribe for more every single day here on Crypto Banter. I might not have a show tomorrow, but I will be back on Thursday and Friday with another show here on In the Game. As always, play well, my friends.